All right, there we go. Well, welcome everybody to our weekly Law of Attraction Roundtable call. My name is Kevin Young, and my wife Suzanne and I will be facilitating the discussion tonight. Our company is Personal Success Programs, and we host webinars and workshops and coaching programs based around the Law of Attraction. We're located just outside of Detroit, Michigan, in a little city called Novi. So we host these free online calls for those of you who haven't been here before as a way to build a global community of law of attraction practitioners, because we believe that the more people who understand this naturally occurring law, the better it is for everybody on the planet. And we're just happy that you're part of our community. So thank you for being here tonight. A little bit of housekeeping. Just relax, be comfortable. Nothing going on that's serious around here. If you want to ask a question, you can click your little raise hand button, or if you just want to speak up and say your name so we know who you are, if in case I don't know who you are, that'd be helpful. The workshop is being recorded, so it'll be available for playback later. All you got to do is wait for the email to show up for those of you who are online right now. At some point, we'll be posting these either on YouTube or maybe on our own private site because people have asked to hear playbacks of them. Hopefully they'll be useful to someone. Most importantly, just have some fun here, because nothing serious is going on. Please jump right in, have a conversation. It's a fairly small audience at this point, so whatever you have to add or to ask is important. And by law of attraction definition, it will be important to other people on the call. So you'll be helping out not only yourself, but the other people who are actually on the call, or even who would listen to it later. They'll be attracted to the information. So step right up and share whatever you have to share with us. Future calls, Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for next week. And we're taking next week off on July 4th. We'll be on a cruise ship somewhere in Alaska with about 800 other Law of Attraction practitioners and friends, which we've been on many of these cruises before, and they're incredibly enriching for us and very enjoyable. And that's where we get a lot of our understanding and learning about law of attraction. And plus we meet some really great people there. So we'll be doing that next week, but we'll pick up the following week on the 11th of July. For more information about us and our workshops, coaching programs, please visit us online at personalsuccessprograms.com. Alrighty, let's get started here today. So our 10-minute topic for today is called Healing with the Law of Attraction. So this is near and dear to me because it's really what helped kick my story in Law of Attraction off. Back in 2008, I was diagnosed with a non-cancerous brain tumor on the right side, right behind my right ear. And it was a long year of slow growth and hopefully trying to fix it, and we never found an alternative, so I had surgery in 2009, almost exactly 1 year later from when it was diagnosed, and that was also the beginning of my journey around law of attraction and understanding why I attracted a brain tumor and subsequently other things into my experience. At the time, of course, it was hard to own it, but now I understand that everything that manifests in our experience, including things in our physical body, happen to be attracted to us by the essence of our vibration, what we're emitting from our core being. It's a little hard to accept at first that you create a brain tumor or other illnesses in your own body, because who would want to do that? Nobody does it intentionally. But the reality of the way the law of attraction works is it's vibrationally based, and so if you get numb to the feelings that you're having, you don't know what vibration is coming out of you, and so therefore you don't necessarily know what you're attracting. And the body's just the nearest thing to us, so it tends to be affected the most by the continuous thought patterns that we're sending out. So since then I've healed up nicely, and I have let go of other illnesses and other minor maladies like allergies, and my cholesterol came back into balance on its own. Other blood counts all came into normal. In fact, my doctor tells me that I have the blood work of somebody who's 20 years younger than me, so I'm very thankful for that. And I have more energy. I'm not nearly as sleepy as I used to be. Sleep less. get up a lot earlier than I used to, and basically have better clarity in my life. And it's all because of understanding how the law of attraction tracks back to you the things that you're emitting. And so by working on my own, cleaning up my own vibration, that is my thoughts and the feelings that are created by those thoughts, then you have this built-in guidance system, and you can then adjust yourself based on what feels good, and everything else gets back into alignment. That's kind of in a nutshell how the process works. So it is important to understand that the nature of well-being is the nature of the universe. That is, that when we don't interfere with things in nature, they self-correct. And that includes your body. So if you were basically in a coma for 20 years, well, people who have been in a coma for 20 years actually are in pretty optimal health, except for the fact that they're unconscious. So, and that just says, points to the fact that it's the thoughts that we think chronically that are out of alignment, which are what introduce matching vibrations in the body, and those show up as illnesses or physical maladies or conditions. In fact, people like Louise Hay, who many years ago wrote You Can Heal Your Life, documented this and made the association between the kinds of illnesses that people were getting and the thought processes that they had, because she was a therapist, a counselor for many years, and she documented this. And we've discovered that even today that it holds true. And you can look through her book called You Can Heal Your Life, and there's also an iPhone app called Heal Your Body, which has this list in it. And so you can look through the list, and if you got some illness or know somebody who has some illness or condition in their body, you can find the vibrational emotional cause. That is, what kind of stress they're under, what it is they're chronically thinking. And you'd be surprised. It's remarkable how accurate the list can be. And so that kind of gives you a pointer as to the area of your life that's maybe not working so well, where you're letting stress get to you that is maybe you're suppressing. And that's really the key in making this all work, is you got to start caring about how you feel. You got to care about your emotions that are maybe being suppressed, or maybe you're covering up with drugs or alcohol or shopping or food or sex. All of those things can be used as a way of sort of muffling the emotions which are trying to tell you what the thoughts, where the thoughts are pointing. Because law of attraction works on what you're feeling in your gut, in your core, not what you say, and not what the words are that are coming out of your mouth. Or if you've probably known some people who have a false smile on their face, but you can tell they're not in harmony with themselves behind the scenes. Well, it's the behind the scenes part which is what is actually creating the point of attraction, and that just manifests in a matching vibration in the body. So the neat thing is that the system is all self-correcting. All I have to do is remove the source of the negative energy that's creating the pattern in the body that matches the vibrational thoughts, and the body self-corrects, because every one of the trillions of cells in the body actually has its own point of attraction, and they're not ever out of harmony unless the thought patterns are out of harmony. That interfere with the cell's communications and their ability to do what they want to do to be in optimal alignment. So it's really as simple as cleaning up your own thought processes over time, and you can even then milk it as you get better and better at this and caring more about how you feel and what your focus is on. Then you can actually start ramping up towards positive energy, positive thoughts, doing things that feel really good and staying in that vibration, and you actually assist the body in healing very quickly. There have been plenty of near-death experiences. In fact, I just met another person recently, a couple days ago, who had had two near-death experiences, and she wrote a book, and now she's very successful. And we're actually going to meet her in Alaska because she's going to be on that cruise. And now she's doing some phenomenal work with children and how to focus your attention to let go of illnesses. She had Crohn's disease so bad that it was killing her, and killed her, actually. And when she came back, the Crohn's disease healed right up and is gone, and she's been in optimal health ever since. So there's lots of stories like that. One other story that is really worth reading if you haven't is by Anita Morjani, and it's called Dying to Be Me. And she died of cancer. And then in the death state, found her own conscious being, floated above her body, saw what was going on, saw inside her own body, and found out what was bothering her all this time. And she came back, and all the cancer disappeared within, I think it was a month or so. And now she used to tour with Dr. Wayne Dyer before he passed. So anything is possible. Whatever condition you have is caused by chronic thought patterns. You can release it. Even terminal illnesses can be released. It's just a matter of getting a handle on the vibration. and finding somebody to help you. It's often helpful to have a coach or a mentor or a guide, an intuitive guide to help you through that, because it's hard to see our own thought patterns because we tend to block them from ourselves. So a couple things you can do. First of all, the alignment work. And alignment work just means finding ways to feel good. Whatever it takes, get your mind off the negative thing, find something positive to think about, and stay on that subject so that you milk the energy and really get the momentum going. When you have a problem, particularly an illness in the body, it's hard not to think about it, but don't. Just get off the subject. If something's bothering you, got a headache, don't think about the headache. If you got a stomach ache, don't think about the stomach ache. Find something to distract yourself and get off the subject, because you can't force yourself to heal. You've got to get out of the way to allow the energy to naturally do the healing process. But it'll happen quickly if you can do that consistently. And then one final thing that one of our the gurus that we listen to, you hear them from both the Abraham material and the Bashar material. It's basically 3 main steps, and there's a lot of sub-steps, but basically it's breathe slowly and deeply, often. Take time out and breathe as deeply as you can, hold it, let it out as far as you can go, and just repeat that for a few minutes on a regular basis, at least once an hour. The second thing is drink lots and lots and lots of water, pure water, not seasoned water, not anything that has anything in it other than a tiny pinch of sea salt. The tiniest pinch of sea salt actually catalyzes the water and makes it easier for the cells to absorb. I learned that one last year, and it made a big difference. And I drink, I don't know how many of these, 10 of these 16-ounce glasses a day, and I feel great. It's actually a conductor of energy too, water is. So if you want to build your intuitive guidance, then drink water. And the third thing is just move your body. It doesn't have to be exercise necessarily, but just get up and out of the seat on a regular basis. Go for a walk around the house, anything to stretch and move your body, a little bit of yoga. The body is designed for motion, and some of the cleansing systems in the body actually are based in motion. Your lymph system, for instance, only cleanses itself when you move. It doesn't have a pump of its own. So those are the basic steps to get back into better health. Lots of great material online, but the cause is always vibrational, so the cure has to be that way. So that's all I have to say about health. Wasn't quite 10 minutes, but I think I got most of it. Suze, you have anything to add to that, or did I cover the bases?
You did an excellent job. I think the only thing I might add is that if you're aware, when people are aware that their thoughts are producing frequencies, the healing frequency, the frequency that you want to be in is the really high, fast vibrating frequency, and that's always the ones that feel good, because that's what our cells work within, that high frequency state. That's why they're automatically connected to source energy, and that's the frequency of source energy. So when the cells are healing themselves and do their job as they always would until our thoughts interfere, they're in a high frequency state connected to source energy, knowing what they're supposed to, how they operate. So it's just only our own thoughts, as you mentioned simply and easily, of a lower frequency that interfere with the automatically natural healing process of the cells. That's my only other thought I'd add.
All right. Thank you. So with that, let's get into some discussion, questions, comments on that, or anything that you brought to the table. You can click your raise hand button, or you can just say your name and start talking. Either is okay. This is an open forum, so don't be shy. Oh, and unmute yourself. That's important. If we're not answering you, then you're probably muted. So who's the brave one who wants to go first on the call here? Any subject. Nobody has a question. We answered everything that you wanted to know. Everybody in optimal health? Any little maladies, illnesses, headaches, anything that's bothering you that maybe you want to release? Looks like we have a hand raised. All right, Paul, you are on the line. What's up, my friend?
Hey, hi, Paul.
Can't hear you, Paul. Are you unmuted? Paul, are you there? So yep, your hand's up, Paul, but I don't hear you. Is your microphone working?
Yeah, it looks like he's unmuted too. I don't see a check in it, but
No.
something's not working.
Check your phone mute and see if see if that's muted. Sometimes the headphone doesn't work, and there's a little sound check bar on the pop-up window for if you're on a computer that can give you um, feedback. I'll tell you what, I also saw Linda's hand go up, and so Paul, if you go ahead and keep testing your microphone, and maybe you got a headset problem or something. And whenever we hear you pop on the line, then we'll give you the floor. In the meantime, I see Linda's hand up. Linda, if you want to unmute yourself and go ahead.
I think I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hear you good.
I was going to call you today, and there was something that happened, and we talked about on the in IMs about when it kicks up a notch and you're not ready for it. I was telling you that the other morning I was thinking, I wonder if it was time to harvest the mangoes off my mango tree. And I went in the house to Google it, and I came out, and my landlord was standing in my backyard pulling them off the tree. And the first thing I was thinking to myself is, why is she in my backyard? And went straight to that. And then I took about an hour before I realized that that was a way for me to gain the information, maybe not the way I wanted to. And there's been things like that happening.
Nice. So congratulations. Law of Attraction is working very well for you these days.
Correct. But like I said, there's always like that tail at the end where I called her this morning and left a message. Can you give me notice when you're going to be just in my backyard?
What was it that? Sure. What came up for you about her being in your space? Was that uncomfortable?
Yes. It seemed, like I said, there's always like this little tail sometimes when it kicks up that notch, and I want to get better at fine-tuning it like you would with anything you were doing.
No, you said it beautifully. That's exactly what's going on. So what happens is when the energy gets faster and faster, and that comes from having done the vibrational work and getting yourself more and more into alignment, and because we know each other pretty well, I know you've been doing this work for a while now, then any latent leftover resistance will be amplified. So it's just like if you're driving down the road at 5 miles an hour and you happen to hit that rumble strip on the side of the road, you know, it's annoying, but it doesn't really bother you. But if you're going at 100 miles an hour and you hit that same rumble strip, right, it jars you. And that's only because the rumble strip itself, it hasn't changed, but the speed at which you hit it has increased. So it's the same thing. There's still some vibration around having your space invaded when you don't want it. And so the faster moving speed simply is putting a bigger spotlight on that area that you might want to do a little vibrational work around. That's all. But it's good, really good news, though.
Well, okay, interesting what you said, because I thought I needed to pivot to the more positive instead of going, you had two situations going on. There's my answer to what to do with these mangoes, and why are you in my backyard? And the first one I went to is, why are you in my backyard?
And that's just the one that's you're a little bit more used to right now. That's all. So what would you do differently next time?
That's what I'm trying to get to, is I've had a couple of things that have manifested in the last week or so that have been kind of that way. For example, like I told you, I took the dog to the vet. He was sick all day yesterday. I thought I could get to the vet. It was like I couldn't get to a vet clinic that was open at the right time, and I went back to the first one, and they like rolled out the red carpet. All of a sudden they could take him. All of a sudden the vet had to come in early. So I'm wondering if it's just it could become very dramatic, but I don't. I just keep going. And I guess what I want to do is more of a clean manifestation where there's not all this. I mean, is the contract pointing me? Is that how I should look at it?
Well, contrast is always useful, and it becomes the most useful when we appreciate it.
Okay.
So one of the things that you could do is when something shows up in a mixed vibration like that, like the mango tree, good that the mangoes got removed and you got information bad that the neighbor was in your yard or landlord, then where do you want to put your focus? Right? You
On the
want to
good,
put it, yeah,
but I also took care of the other. I emailed her and said, or left a message. I don't mind you coming over, but could you give me some notice or knock on the door?
yeah, there you go. And so now you solved that as well.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of how it's like with everything. This applies to everybody. How we choose to look at the things that are showing up, because everything that's being delivered by the universe is always meant to be in our best interest, and it is. But sometimes, in fact, often we don't look for the benefit that was being brought to us. We instead go back to the old
There
thought
it is.
pattern. Is that it?
That's part of it. And then the other day I was thinking when I was getting my dog flea pills, maybe I need to start looking for a new vet. And then I had to this morning.
Ah,
So you see what I'm saying? I didn't want him to have to go through what he went through for me to do that. Get quicker to what I'm being shown, I guess. Or more definite in what I'm asking for.
well, you're already asking. You can't stop asking. That happens all day long, whether you're thinking about it or not. It's getting in alignment with what you have asked for, and that's always been by simply finding the best feeling thought about every single situation.
Correct.
Right? Because by doing that, then you just make it easier and easier for the universe to only bring things that match the good feeling.
Okay.
But that's the work. It's not looking for what's going wrong. You never want to fish around in the bad part. You just always fish around. The old saying is find the pony in the pile of poo, because he's always there.
Okay.
You got to be willing to look for him. But you're doing great, Linda. I'm really happy for you. Nice job.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. All right, looks like Paul's come in maybe by phone as well. So good. Maybe that'll get you on. Paul, your phone is muted right now. So do you want to try unmuting and give it a shot there? Can you unmute your, I don't know what the unmute thing is on the telephone. Probably *6, maybe. I don't know, Paul, if you can hear me, go ahead and start talking, and as soon as we can hear you, we'll bring you online. In the meantime, if somebody else you want to talk and have a question that you want to ask or something you want to talk about here, just go ahead and unmute yourself and raise your hand, or go ahead and just start talking, and we'll get going here. Any health-related issues you guys want to bring up, or any health situations that you've achieved some success around that maybe you want to share with the group? Oh, I just heard somebody. Paul, is that you? I don't hear. All righty. All right, so who else is on the line here? Any feedback? Does any of this make sense to anyone here?
Are you there?
I think I blew them away with my opening comments.
Kidding.
Okay, so this is Emily.
Oh, hi, Emily. How are you?
Hi. Good. So, okay, I'll start with the feedback one first, if I may.
Sure.
So, from last week's call, I started doing the free form writing thing. And what I noticed over the course of the week was that situations that recur, I don't know, like when you're with your siblings, and somebody says something and you just, you get snarky with one another, those type of things. So, so those kind of situations came up, but instead of becoming a snarky situation, it was just perfectly calm. I thought that was interesting.
Wow, interesting.
That because I have two older brothers, so normally one of us will say something that'll just drive the other one bonkers, and and that happened. It was the same type of situation, but there was none of the snarky stuff going on.
Wonderful. Well,
So,
congratulations. So you just proved your power to yourself.
yeah. So, but, so to this week's topic, to what you were saying earlier about how, which it's kind of, you bring things that you think about to you, which, here's the thing. My mom passed in 2008. So my mom was a heavy-set lady, and she had sort of kind of thin hair. She was in her 70s. And I have this distinct recollection of while we were taking care of her in the nursing home of my thinking, I hope my hair never gets as thin as hers, and she was heavy-set, and I don't want to become heavy. Because I was, at that time I had like full thick hair, and I was 150 pounds. So from that point forward, I would go, I really don't want to lose my hair, and I really don't want to become old and fat. And so at the time I was like in my mid-40s. So here we are, fast forward 8 years. My hair has thinned, and I've gained 50 pounds. So it's really depressing to think that I have thought this on myself. So now, the last couple of years, when I started noticing that this was occurring, I was like, I don't want to lose my hair, I don't want to lose my hair, I don't want to go bald, and I don't want to be fat. So I can, so of course. So based on what you've said, if I can somehow change my thoughts, I should be able to lose the weight and my hair would come back. Is that basically the drift?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Which is really sad.
It's really what?
Sad. It's funny, but sad.
Why is that sad?
Well,
when you have all the power to change.
Well, because I thought it was stress. Because my situation, moved here, no job, plain find a job, and all that other stuff. So I'm just blaming this all on stress. But
well, what's the difference?
I'm really bringing it. Well, that's the thing. I'm really bringing it on myself.
Well, in all cases, we bring everything on ourselves, both the wanted and the wanted. But what usually people do is then, as soon as something doesn't go the way that they think it should or society thinks it should, then they jump all over their own case, and they make the problem go from bad to worse because they're into self-judgment.
Exactly.
Okay.
Apparently, that is a major problem.
Well, it's only a problem as long as you make it a problem.
Yeah.
So when are you going to change?
I guess when I go get the book, it tells me what vibration I'm throwing out.
Well, you don't need a book. You were born with a guidance system.
So, I try not to think about it, but then something will happen, or I'll look at myself in the mirror, and then I'll think about it. I'll let it go, but then I see myself, and then I think about it.
Okay, and so I hear you judging yourself by thinking about it.
Yes.
So I wonder if that would be a place to start.
By not looking in the mirror or just forgetting about it?
You can look in the mirror. It's the judgment about the belief that you're failing somehow.
Okay.
I hear a lot of self-criticism in that. Do you feel that or no?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is.
Okay. And so if you were your own child, how would you treat yourself?
I would be more gentle with myself.
Like how?
I don't know how. I would just be more gentle with myself. I would.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how I would be more I don't know. But I know I need to be more gentle with myself, but I don't quite know how to get there yet, obviously.
Well, that can be
here.
Yeah, well, sure, but that doesn't make you wrong.
Okay.
Right? So the minute that you stop asking questions and trying to grow is the minute that you leave the planet. So we're all very happy that you're here.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I do. It's not for me, but I'd like to ask one more question, if I may.
Sure. Hang on just a second, Em.
Okay.
Was that you, Paul?
It is, but I can certainly wait. I'm glad you can hear me.
All right, great. Yeah,
Oh, no,
hang
go
on
ahead.
there.
Go with Paul. No, go with Paul. He's been waiting. He's
Emily,
been waiting. Go with Paul.
We still have a half hour on the call here, Em. I just want to be sure that we close the loop here. Your question is touching everybody on the call.
yeah, you're not alone.
Okay. Well, it was interesting because we had a family reunion this week. First time all the relatives got together in 8 years. And so what I'm asking in relation to my sister-in-law, because when she came to Michigan last summer, she stayed at my brother's house, and she ended up having an allergic reaction to bouncer sheets in the dryer. Okay, so her face turned all like red and flared up.
Hmm.
And whenever my other brother and my sister-in-law really don't like staying at my other brother's house because it's the vibration there is really low and it drives everybody crazy.
Hmm.
So this time they stayed with them again, and at the family reunion, she ended up falling on their deck and broke her arm.
Hmm.
So, now she will fly back. They'll fly back to their home in Oregon tomorrow, but she now has a broken arm, and we were all kind of talking like she's never going to come back to Michigan again, or if she does, she's not staying at Jeff's house, because every time she stays at Jeff's house, something not good happens to her.
Yeah, and so everybody looks at the condition and believes that it's to do with the condition that's causing the problem. So what do you believe the real problem is?
Well, from looking at it from outside, I think that it's because they get so stressed that knowing they have to spend a couple of days there because the vibration in the house isn't good, but they don't want to hurt their feelings by staying at a hotel, so they suck it up and they stay there.
There you go.
And then
Beautiful.
and then something weird happens, and then then they go home, and then my brother beats himself up because my brother whose house they stayed at, he beats himself up because something bad happened to Diane, because they stayed there because they didn't want to hurt their feelings. And that's just me observing it from the outside.
Yeah, so do you see the pattern that your family has learned?
Yeah.
You do something that looks like a failure, and then you make it worse by pushing yourself down to the bottom of the emotional scale, right? And then you attract more that's at the bottom of the emotional scale, because that's how law of attraction works. And then you beat yourself up for having done something wrong, and then you keep yourself at the bottom of the emotional scale. There's no escape from that as long as you keep beating yourself up for doing things that seem like mistakes. There are no mistakes.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a mistake anywhere in the universe except in the human mind. Right? Because
so the next time,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. So the next time they come to town, should they return, they should stay somewhere other than there.
They should clean up their vibration before they arrive, because it won't matter where they stay. If they bring a negative vibration, law of attraction will find them.
Okay.
Right? You can't go anywhere on the earth without gravity finding you.
Okay.
And the law of attraction works the same way, right? And see, this is where you have a big advantage, and you could actually be helpful as you practice cleaning up your own vibration, the pre-paving we may have talked about, where you decide how you want to feel before they show up. If you practice that a bit, then you'll actually be a positive influence to them when you go into the situation, and they may or may not come to your vibration, but in either case, you'll be safe and you'll have a good time.
Okay,
right?
It's weird because I did. I mean, normally that would have whacked me all out also, but I'm like, I'm good. I mean, I'm sad she broke her arm, but I was pretty much good and had a good time.
Yeah, so congratulations. So see, in that short amount of time, you did a little bit of work. You did the free form writing, which is where you just sit down for 15 minutes and write whatever comes into your mind without judging it or thinking about it. And in that short amount of time, you've created a new vibrational set point for yourself. Well done, Em.
Okay.
Doesn't get
Yes.
better than
Okay.
that. You're really on the track. Thank you for sharing
All
that.
right. Thank you.
You bet. All right, Paul, I think you've been waiting since the beginning of the call. Go ahead and jump in.
No problem. I feel like the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can actually hear you.
But I was on an old piece of equipment, and I tried my phone, and then I figured what I really need to do is to get on my wife's computer, because she has the most advanced computer, and so here we go.
All right.
And it's really nice to see you guys, first of all.
Yes, thank you. Glad to have you.
In the some of the previous roundtables, I've really never had to say anything because my questions are always answered anyway, whether I talk or not. And then when I noticed the subject of today's conversation, the healing, I've had this elbow problem that I've been dealing with the last few weeks. And you know, as you know, I do a lot of typing on my computer, and you know, trying to rest it is it's just not been easy. But then just getting on this call, feeling good about just being on this call and knowing that Law of Attraction helps me in so many ways, lo and behold, my elbow isn't even bothering me right now. After trying to get on the call with you guys, I'm not even sure I need. I was going to ask you how the Law of Attraction aligns with medical type advice. You know, taking my elbow for example. You're supposed to put ice on it, adjust it, elevate it. So I mean, if you're just feeling good about it, thinking good thoughts, and maybe that go away. You have to take attention.
You're kind of breaking up there, Paul. Could you say that last part again?
When you're using the Law of Attraction, do you pay attention to the medical advice that comes your way? Putting ice on a sore tendon, it makes it feel better. Is that something you even have to be concerned about if you're applying the laws of attraction?
So if you're, yeah, it's a great question, and it's a perfect lead-in. So the short answer is if it feels good. Okay. So the long answer is do anything that gives you relief in the moment. And whatever the path of least resistance is to getting relief in the moment, do it. The long-term answer is through the understanding of the law of attraction that it's lower vibrational thoughts which brought it on to begin with. Then you want to be working on your thoughts at the same time and feeling around for, well, what is it that's stressing me out, and change the focus. But over time, the idea is that as you get into a better and better vibration, and I know you've been doing this work for a long time and are really good at a lot of these areas, Paul, it's simply to continue cleaning up the little areas where you feel a dip in your energy, someplace where you're pushing through. And then what happens over time is then the symptoms have to go away. So the 1-2 step is, number one, do whatever you need to do to get relief, whether that's taking medical advice, getting surgery if it's extreme, taking a pain pill, anything to alleviate your symptoms and to help you get back on the path. And then in the longer term, do the vibrational work and catch the thoughts before they start to slip down into negative territory. And this can be a longer journey. It's certainly one I've been on for quite a while, since the tumor, really, which is 8 years or so. And I still catch myself pushing myself through something for hours on end, and then all of a sudden I have the awareness I'm not feeling good, maybe my stomach's a little upset, maybe I've created a headache for myself. I'm thinking, what the heck? I've been getting emotional guidance all the way along that says, stop doing this, Kevin. But I don't do anything about it. So it just, the thing is to catch the symptoms, the feelings earlier and earlier along the path, and then eventually they don't dip very much at all before you'll just stop and say, whoa, wait a second, I'm going down a path that I know is not going to feel good when I get to the end, and then you correct. Did that answer your question?
Thank you for that. Yes. Thank you.
Sure. I'm kind of losing you again there. What was that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great question. So we've got another about 18 minutes here. Who's next? I saw another hand go up and then it went back down again. Who else has a question or something they want to comment on about any little melody that's bothering you? Ah, I see Federica. You have joined us. Federica is coming all the way from Italy tonight. Go ahead, Federica. You're on the line. What's your question? Oh, there you go. We got a picture too.
Okay, so I cannot. Hi. So I cannot talk too loud because it's really late here. It's like 2 a.m. and
Oh.
I just wanted to share my story. It's like
Uh-oh.
through alignment, I could heal my bones actually, not completely, but a good part of it has healed. And I was very in alignment, and the energy was flowing very fast. And this part of my body had some resistance. Okay, so it started to hurt, but I knew that it was a good thing because it means that the energy was flowing and that it was going against some resistance. But I just had to let it be. And actually, the day after sleeping, when I stood up, I could feel completely the difference. And right now, when I walk, I'm way more stable. And I didn't do a thing. And I thought about going to a doctor because it could be considered, a thing that has to be treated very seriously.
Yeah.
But that didn't feel good. So I was like, okay, if it doesn't feel good, I'm not going to do that. I want to trust what I know. And it's great. I mean, just 1 week of alignment, 1 week of flowing the energy, and now it's completely different. So, wow. If I can heal my bones, I can heal anything. So really, I mean, my bones, I didn't even touch them. And it's completely different. So I just wanted to share it.
Nice job. Well, Federica, she's becoming a real master at this law of attraction. And you're how old? Not very.
18.
She's 18 years old, folks, and she's already got a law of attraction mastered. She's healing her own bones and creating some great outcomes in her life. So, wow, what a great story! And just think now what's possible for you now that you can do that. You can heal anything, and you can go anywhere and do anything with that power. Nice work.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Thank you for sharing that. Anything else you wanted to say on that, or?
I don't know if somebody has some questions. I may share something if anyone wants.
All right, well, let's see who else is on the line. And thank you for staying up or getting up at 2 a.m. to be with us.
Thank you. Very nice of you.
All right, well, we got a lot of people on the
You're
line
welcome.
here. Who else wants to jump in, ask a question? You got some comment to make? Want to talk a little bit more about health or anything else is actually on the table? Anything about law of attraction is available.
Hey Kevin, hey Suzanne, this is Sherman. How are you guys?
Hey, Sherman. Good. How are you, my friend?
Terrific, terrific, thanks. I was wondering if Emily's still on the line here.
Emily is still here. I was trying to
Emily.
figure out how old is the young lady from Italy?
She's 18.
18?
A young
Yes.
18
Okay.
old soul, I think.
Yeah, she's a very old
Okay.
soul, very wise.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, Sherman.
So Emily, I have a book for you. I don't know if this will help or not, but it's something worth taking a look at. And not to step on Kevin or Suzanne's toes or anything, but as far as like even creating positive thoughts and positive affirmations, even getting into that realm, because I know we're born and brought up with these pre-programmed notions that are brought in from our culture. So if you're interested, Emily, the book is called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. And I can email you the book, and it's worth taking a look at. So if you have an email, I'd be happy to send that over to you.
So what to say
when you talk to yourself.
Yeah, what to say when you talk to yourself. Right.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Just
I read that book.
getting into the habit of creating those positive thoughts, positive self-talk, and in that way creating alignment, creating that emotion or vibration through which you can bring anything into your life. So Yeah, it's by Dr. Shad Helmstetter, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. It's really terrific. I mean, it can really get you into that habit, the mindset to just think positive thoughts, right? So,
How has it helped you, Sherman, do you think?
definitely removing some of the negative self-talk I've had my whole life. Trust me, I'm still working on it. It's a daily progress. It doesn't just happen overnight in one read or one pass, but it's daily habit, right? And just being aware of it. I think self-awareness is huge. It's critical. How you're feeling, or I think self-awareness is probably the foundation of it, right? How you are feeling at any given moment. That you understand that, and you know what you're feeling to be able to change it in that given moment. So to be
That's
able
exactly it.
to be able to find awareness, change that thought, get into a positive thought, emotion, work your way up that scale. That's what it's all about, right? So it's a
It's a
work
very
in
good point.
progress.
It is. It's always a work in progress, and it's a really good point that we talk to ourselves a lot. And I know I'm certainly as guilty, if you want to use that word, as anybody, that sometimes the words I use are very critical, and I'm just playing back what I learned when I was a kid, that I heard in the environment or was even, was criticized myself, and you get into those habits and you don't even think about it. Something comes up and you say the thing and you're not even thinking about it, but that energy is going out, and so it's got to come back. So it's a great place to start for all of us, that to stop the self-judgment and start to become our own cheerleaders instead of our own executioners. Little
That's
side.
exactly right. And you were saying, is it 15 to 17 seconds? If you maintain that thought, right, it can either spiral upwards or spiral downwards. So,
Yeah, it's always on the same frequency, whatever it is, but energy, yeah, it's down to about 15 seconds. You stay on that vibration, in other words, the emotion, for our 15 seconds, and you'll start to attract another set of thoughts that match that emotion. And if you don't change it, then you'll get a third set of thoughts that match the emotion. And after 4 times, about a minute, then now law of attraction has a big enough bite out of that energy. There's enough momentum to start bringing you physical things, and that usually they first show up in our body as little ailments if it's negative thoughts. Now, if it's positive, then that's a great thing. If you can get on a joyful thought, something that makes you feel love, appreciation, freedom, and just stay on that and milk it, then you'll start to get streams of positive, and then eventually you'll manifest the positive that matches that. So it's always about building momentum on whatever frequency you're on, and the frequency is based on how you feel. So it's really important to get in touch with how you feel, and pay attention to that as you're thinking the thoughts. That's a really good point, Sherman. Anything else on that? Thanks for bringing that up.
I think maybe some people feel discouraged, maybe based on their age. Oh, I'm 60 years old. How am I going to change my thought patterns? How am I going to change this or that? Well, it's never too late, right? You can be young, old, doesn't matter. I mean, these principles, these laws that are universal, just as universal as the law of gravity, are applicable to everybody, right? No matter your age or your upbringing or anything, socioeconomic status doesn't matter. So
That's right.
it's never too late.
It's never
And
too
that's
late.
all I got. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thanks for sharing that, Sherman. All right, we got about, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes left before we got to start wrapping up. Who else wants to share something or has a comment about what's been said here so far? Or a question about law of attraction that we can get into? Anything is on the subject, on the table here today. So go ahead and raise your hand or just jump right in. Katie, are you on the line? You have something you want to say? Katie's been a virtual miracle worker when it comes to change of vibration.
I'm here. How you guys doing?
Great. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Is it okay if you maybe just share a little bit about how you've managed your healing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just I'll give a quick history. When I was 9, I was diagnosed as being a type 1 diabetic. And then about 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And it was pretty much to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't sleep at night. I was in a lot of pain. I had extreme weakness. I'm a singer. I gave up singing for about a year because I just couldn't. when I would do a gig, I'd be in bed for 3 days. I couldn't get out of bed. And about 3 years ago was when I found out about Abraham Hicks and started learning about Law of Attraction. And I'm to the point now where I'm singing 3 nights a week, every week. I just performed again with an old band member last night at a festival and was able to stand all night, not sit down once, which was absolutely amazing for me. And
Hey.
yeah, it was great. It was so cool. I took a bar stool just in case, but I'd never used it, which was awesome. So
Good job.
yeah, it really, I mean, and I started with, I tell everybody this, I started with a gratitude journal and writing down what I appreciated about every day. And I mean, that I didn't get out of bed most days, so it was like, I appreciate my heated blankets. You know, I appreciate the dog sleeping next to me. I appreciate my mom, you know, bringing me toast or something. You know, it was just whatever was there. And it started to turn around and it started to get better. And now I'm up every day and I'm out of bed and I'm doing all sorts of stuff. So it definitely does work.
What an inspiring story. My goodness.
No kidding. And I love that you did the simple thing, well, even while you were stuck in bed, of starting a gratitude journal or an appreciation, everything you could appreciate, because that's the highest frequency possible, and that's where your cells operate. And as you think those thoughts, that high frequency is flowing through your body, and it's helping your cells little by little as you did it every day, as you continue. I know you continue to appreciate so much, and I admire that. Good job, Katie.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to mention there was a Teal Swan put a video out this past Saturday about finding the root cause of your illnesses.
Mhm.
And I'd highly recommend the video because it's excellent. And it's, you know, both of my illnesses came about at a time when I felt really, really powerless. And I know that's the root of both of them. And her video is excellent about turning your thoughts around about the illness and not making an enemy of your body and not making an enemy of the illness, but actually looking at it as a teacher, you know, and that it's trying to talk to you, it's trying to tell you something, and not to take it as a negative thing, which of course we all do right away, but that it's you know, it's trying to tell you something. So her video is about 20 minutes long and it goes into a lot of great things, but I highly recommend that.
Yeah, we've watched that video as well, thanks to
Yeah, we totally
Katie's
enjoyed it too.
recommendation. And yeah, and
Who's
it's
that by?
very good.
Yeah.
Teal Swan.
Who's it? I'm sorry.
It's a Teal Swan, TealSwan.
Okay.
She's one of the young upcoming gurus of Law of Attraction. She's a sensory intuitive. She's clairvoyant, clairaudient. She's really an incredible being. I don't even think she's 30 yet. And she has a ton of videos on all different subjects on YouTube. So just type in Teal Swan, and I put it in the chat window, but it's called Finding the Root of Your Illness. And you just type that into a search window in YouTube or even in Google, and it'll find it. It's about 20 minutes long. Well worth the listen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Katie. Anything else you want to add?
Nope, I think that's about it, but thanks.
Well, thank you. Katie's been working with us for a while now, and she's just been a real inspiration to watch how she's taken this material and is literally changing her life from every angle. And it's a journey, you know, for all of us. You don't get to the destination that you want instantaneously, but the point is to enjoy the journey and appreciate it along the way. And that's one of the things I think Katie does really well and is demonstrating to us, is that appreciation. All right, we're getting down there on time. I got a few more minutes left. Anybody else want to chime in before we start our wrap-up? Any subject is on the docket, as long as it's Law of Attraction related. Any last-minute tuning questions you want to know about how to release something or feel a little bit better about something that's bothering you? Let's go ahead and jump right in.
You know, when it comes to self-love, if we are in a habit of doing negative self-talk because we picked it up through our parents or any other number of ways, Louise Hay is excellent. And she's all over YouTube. Just type in Louise Hay, self-love, and you'll see all kinds of wonderful videos that she puts out there to help you find new ways of thinking about yourself. And it just popped into my mind because she talks about looking in the mirror, and lots of us don't like looking in the mirror, and then we do start this negative self-talk, maybe not out loud, but in our minds. And so she helps you do mirror work, is what she calls it, learning to look at your eyes and love yourself as you look in the mirror. It's all a gradual process, but that's another good thing to turn to if that's one of the things you want to tackle.
And regarding Louise Hay, I typed it into the chat window. I see Ellen's commented here. But also for those of you who can see the video, there's an iPhone app called Heal Your Body. It's from the book Heal Your Body, and it has that list of illnesses that I was talking about here. And so you just pick an illness. I'm not going to pick that one. Let's say ulcers, for instance, and then it actually shows you the probable vibrational cause. In this case, it's a fear or strong belief that you're not good enough. What's eating away at you? That's the cause. That's the thought pattern that was going through your head. And then the new thought pattern you can replace it with is, I love and approve of myself. I am at peace. I am calm. All is well. So by shifting and pivoting your vibration from the patterns which are already going on, which are manifesting as ulcers, then and changing them to that frequency, it's a more direct way of countering the energy that you got going that's causing, in this case, the ulcers. But that list has hundreds of illnesses in it, and it's well-written app. Yeah.
Like Paul could even look, I don't know if Paul has the book, but you could look up elbow just to see the basic thing.
Yeah, I already looked it up. I just didn't want to say it over the air.
Well,
don't worry. It's not like he's a mass murderer. What's that?
I will check it out.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And Ellen, yeah, right. Maybe you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So Ellen, I see your hand is up. You already made a comment. Is there anything you want to say in about 2 minutes?
Hey, Ellen.
Or you're muted right now. Anything you got to say before we?
I just wanted to say, Louise Hay's "You Can Heal Yourself" is really good, also.
Okay. And is that you're talking about the book? You Can Heal Your Life, or?
Yep, you can heal your. Yeah, it's called Heal Yourself by Louise Hay's.
There's well, maybe that's a new one. We know about You Can Heal Your Life, a book, which is the one we give away in our all-day workshops, and then there's also Heal Your Body, which is an earlier version of it. But either way, anything really.
Yeah, maybe it's Heal Your Life. Maybe Heal, but it was really, yeah, I think that's what it was. It was really good. That's when I started off with. Excellent book.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, Louise is amazing. She's really one of the modern-day founders of the energy work, self-healing, along with Abraham Hicks materials, Law of Attraction materials, have really been instrumental in getting this new awareness kicked off. And we are now perpetuating that. So with the technology of the world these days, we can reach around the world. We're already talking to Italy here, and we've talked to other countries. This material will not be kept silent because you all are incredibly powerful creators. And as you learn how it works and start owning your vibration, your lives are going to just get magical, like the stories we've already heard here by Federica and Katie and so forth. So that is your legacy. It's your birthright. And you are worthy to manifest anything that you want. So just keep doing the vibrational work and join us here each week if you want to have more questions answered or if you want to participate. I think we'll start our wrap up here now because we're getting down there at the end of the hour. So for those of you who are in the area, I think most of you know we run a local meetup group that's based on the same material and similar format we call the Billionaires Club. And on the 21st of July is our next meeting, and we'll be talking about learning to trust your inner voice. If you happen to be in the area, you want to join us, we would love to have you. It's $10 to join the meeting. If you have any questions, just contact us directly. Let's see. That's all I had here. We already talked about that. So I think that's it. Future calls, again, held at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. except for next week when we will be in Alaska, so no call next week on July 4th, but we will pick up the following July 11th. There will be a follow-up email to this, which will contain a link to the recording in case you want to play it back and grab any extra tidbits. You're welcome to do so. If you want to know more about the workshops or the coaching that we do to help people through these situations and have fantastic lives, just visit us online at personalsuccessprograms.com. Again, I'm Kevin Young and my wife Suzanne. We really appreciate you coming out tonight and joining us for this Law of Attraction Roundtable call. And best of health and wealth to everybody on the call. Thanks again. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye, Kevin. Bye, Suzanne. Have fun in Alaska.
Thanks, Will.
All right. Peace. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.